Picture this. It is fall 2006. I'm just a 7-year-old kid in his first couple months of second grade. At the time, there were three things I definitely loved more than anything: Keebler's Fudge Stripes cookies, my family, and last but certainly not least, video games. I had already been playing video games for so long and so frequently that I couldn't even tell you the first time I learned how to even play them. With loving video games, it's a bit redundant to say that Hollywood Video was definitely my favorite place to go. Well, besides EB Games and KB Toys. My mom would take my siblings and I to Hollywood Video and we would rent something pretty often. This time though, it was just my mother and me. We went right around the time it opened that day, which was, I believe, typically 10 a.m., and although my memory's sort of fading me on certain particulars, I remember it being cold enough to wear a jacket. It was a dreary fall day in Washington, PA. Gray clouds and windy, which is honestly my kind of day nowadays.
Now that I think of it, maybe I'm confusing the beginning of the game with my real-life introduction to the game.
Anyway, during my visit, I was in one of the corners of the gaming section, which was about parallel to the entrance, and it was there that I found it. I couldn't tell you now what most likely pulled me in, but I have a feeling that the Rockstar Games logo did a lot to help with that. My experiences with Rockstar Games up until this point have been nothing but jaw-droppingly incredible.
They were, no pun intended, rock stars. They released controversial game after controversial game, but they were always breaking new ground in the medium of video games, and they still are, honestly.
With me, though, personally, besides not being able to get past the third mission in Max Payne, I spent a decent amount of time watching my older brother play Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, Vice City, and GTA 3. And so, here their new game was, and that was the game I picked at the rental store that day. When I got home, I went to where the PS2 was held hostage, my brother's room in the attic, and I popped the game in. During that 5-day rental, I don't remember getting too far. I did get far enough to have the main character wear the Astronomy Club vest, a baseball cap, and 2 wristbands. I had a weird relationship with the game before I finally got to play it again, and that's probably because I really didn't have enough time to get a full opinion on it, but that all would change when my sister would end up getting it for Christmas that same year, where I very vividly remember saying as she revealed it to all of us, "That game is so stupid."
Way to be a good brother. Real nice. I was probably just jealous or just being a jerk, but probably both.
But after this Christmas, I would occasionally see my sister play it, which naturally made me cave, and I ended up buying my own copy of it with some of my Christmas money at the local FYE. And I also bought Urban Reign, which was a really sick Namco fighting game for the PS2 that I still can't find my copy of to this day. And I also bought the Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny soundtrack on CD. Although my sister and I fought a lot during this time of our young lives, this game was one thing that actually brought us closer together. You know, we were trying to see if the dorm room would change if we changed the PS2's internal clock, like in Simpsons Hit and Run when you could do that. Or, we would look up how to get all of the posters in Jimmy's room on game FAQs. We had a great time together.
Except for when I had finally gotten all the way to chapter 4 and accidentally deleted my save file, and in typical brother-sister fashion, she wouldn't let me get a copy of hers, and so I had to start all the way over from the beginning.
I honestly wish I could remember the first time I beat the game, but I really can't. It was probably sometime in 2007, but what I always remember about this game is that the world was one that I couldn't get enough of, whether it be New Coventry, Old Bulworth, Vale, or Blue Skies Industries. Every day when I got home from school, there was this infectious bass line that played as I explored the town, the snowfall during Chapter 3, every hilarious algae encounter, the opportunity of putting a kick me sign on a fellow student's back on Halloween, of giving someone toilet paper because they ran out in their stall, of using the sick skateboard you unlock, and hell, even having to mow lawns as punishment by one of the prefects. I even remember getting to the Chapter 2 mission carnival date for the first time and becoming so insanely excited. "I'm going on a freaking carnival date," I exclaimed, with my mom's appropriate reply, "What?" coming from the other room. Needless to say, she just didn't get it.
I'm pretty sure no other second graders were going on carnival dates in real life, but this game gave me the opportunity to do so, and it made me feel like I was in fact Jimmy Hopkins, a 15-year-old kid who tries to stop bullying, who's been expelled from anywhere halfway decent, and whose mom has been married 5 times. So, having replayed the game for the first time in 5 years this past summer, have my feelings changed? Well, kind of, but not really. I mean, if anything, replaying it made me laugh even harder at some moments than ever before, such as,
Sure. Are you English? Well, no. I just speak this way because I'm very insecure. You see, my father is a self-made man, so I pretend to be old money, but in fact, I'm really nouveau riche. But less about me, dear boy.
President, dummy. It says class president. I know. That's you?
I'm the most suitable candidate I know.
Yeah, so's your mom. Yeah, right.
And not only that, but the connection between player and character still stayed the same for me. I still wanted to dress Jimmy in heavier clothes during the winter missions and lighter clothes during the spring. I wanted Jimmy to arrive to class on time and succeed, to help him take over the school by interacting and taking control over the cliques. And most importantly, I wanted to help him learn sick new fighting moves from the hobo that lives behind the school. To me, those who call this GTA for Kids or GTA Junior are really doing such a great disservice and are frankly missing out on a truly unique and charming experience that still holds up to this day, at least for me. Even the block hands that every Rockstar Games character had during that time still holds a special place in my heart.
but look, who am I to let out their thoughts on a game that, to put simply, means the world to them, to you, who is, honestly, I'm never someone you've probably met before, and my opinion probably doesn't matter that much to you. But now that I've gushed about this game, it's time to finally conclude. Thank you, Rockstar Games, for making the game I've spent the most hours on, that I would reenact its cutscenes in my elementary school bathroom, that introduced me to the legendary musician Sean Lee, that has had one of the biggest impacts in my life, for giving my sister and I any chance to get closer, and for blessing this earth for 15 years. 15 years later, Rockstar Games' Bully still continues to leave an unforgettable mark on my life. Are there any other amazing games that Hollywood Video introduced me to? Well, that's for another time.
Ah, yes. Good evening. Time to talk about the Met Gala.
Yeah.
I am Robert the 58th, or people call me Mike.
I'm John.
I'm Joe the Sixth.
And now, let the Met Gala commence. Ah, the first outfit. You do see that it's got green, which is a hideous green, mind you.
Just from the back alone, I'd give everything a 10, but we're trying to be good. We're trying to be good at this, so.
He does make him look more powerful, because, like, especially, like, at the back, you could tell, like, he's a strong man, and he's able to take down enemies.
I don't see it being all that practical. I mean, look at the way that the armor is, like, in between the plates. If I was to put something like this on, I'll need some help. Practically wise, I'm gonna have to give it like a 2. Power, though, I will have to give it like a 8, because it is very powerful. Style, I will have to give it maybe a 5, because like I said, that green just doesn't really match anything.
I'm like thinking this Master Chief is gonna go into the forest. It's pretty practical, he can just like run in there. So I give it a solid 5 out of 10. He's looking pretty stylish, I must say. 7 out of 10. And then power, whoo-wee, I give him a 9. And I'm only giving him a 9 because I want to give the other people a fair chance.
As for me, I would have to give practicality a 6. For style, again, it's not, there could have been more, but I think it's basic for what it is, so I have to give that a 6 as well. But for power, he is very, you can tell that he's ready to fight. So I'm gonna have to give it a 6.5.
Ah, Steve. Okay, practical, it's a t-shirt and pants. I'll have to give that one like a 8 for practicality, because obviously, fashion, nothing special. I'll give it 3. And then power, a 1.
Practicality, 10 out of 10. I mean, I wear that kind of stuff on the regular, and I'd say it's pretty practical, so I'd give myself a 10 out of 10. Style, I mean, once again, I wear the same stuff, so like, should I give myself a 10 out of 10? Nah, I'll be good. I'll give him a 5. And then power, yeah, he's looking pretty weak. I'd give him a 2.
Like, it's basic, but I like it. Like, you don't see awkward shirts that often in protagonists. So for that, I'm gonna also have to give that a 10. But power, though, yeah, I mean, if you leave out the sword, he just looks like your weakling protagonist. So I'll give that a 4.
Samus Aran, more armor. This time though wearing orange and red. A much more intimidating color scheme than puke green. Although admittedly, the arm cannon will be very unpractical. So overall, I'll have to give it maybe a 6 for practicality. As for style, and it's got a nice brand of color. So for style, I'll have to give it a 7. And then for power, it's a big, tough outfit for a big, tough lady. I will have to give it an 8.
Yeah, practicality, she's got the gun for an arm. And I mean, unless she's a lefty, I'd say that's pretty impractical for her. So, I'd have to give that a 4. Style, oh, it's sleek, it's awesome. I give it an 8 out of 10, 8.5, yeah. And then for power, she's got a cannon for an arm. That's pretty powerful to me. No, I'd give it a 9, yeah.
For practicality, her shoulder pads, they're really bulky, so I can imagine over time it could be tiring to wearing that. So I'm gonna have to give it a 4. Style though, the color scheme, perfect. So I'm gonna have to give that a 10. For power, she definitely looks like a powerful person. Like,
anyways, another powerful lady. I don't know if it's really that practical. First off, high heels, especially guns as your shoes. I will have to give this one a 6 at best. For style, it's got a good raven-like design. So I will have to give this one an 8 for that. As for the power, she's given a very feminine and a very intimidating feminine outfit. So I will have to give that one another 8.
For practicality, yeah, I have walked in heels, not a joke, and they're not that comfortable. That's an understatement. And I can't tell from here if that's a one piece or if the pants are separate. It kind of does look like it's a one piece. Practicality, I'd give that a 3. For style, oh my gosh, style all the way. So I'd give that like 7 out of 10. And then for power, once again, wha-bam, I've seen her in Smash. I wouldn't want to mess with her, so I give her an 8.
for practicality, I'm gonna have to give it a 4 because, as you mentioned, I cannot imagine fighting in high heels. For style, yeah, she definitely has the dark look into her, an 8. She definitely has the power in her. I can see it, but it's nothing that grabs the attention to me, so I'm gonna have to give it 6.
Oh, the wolf Shakira. Design-wise, obviously it's a lot more casual overall. Probably a 7, just because of that sword alone. It's a lot more dirtier, but still a very nice design. I'll have to give it overall maybe a 6. As for power, so either way, I think I'll probably have to give that one probably a 6.
So for practicality, that's not the best. Imagine having to go to the bathroom. You gotta take the whole sheath off, otherwise it's like hitting there, and that's not that good. So practicality, I'd give that 4. For style, he's giving me hipster ninja vibes, so I'd give it like an 8. And then for power, he's giving me like Strider, Aragorn vibes. Like he doesn't look powerful, but like also like might mess me up. So like I'd give power like 8.5.
yeah, the swords, they can be troubling at certain situations. But what bothers me the most are the logs or the wood that's tied around his arms and legs. So I'm gonna have to give it a 4. But for style, wonderful. So I'm gonna have to give him a 9. For power, so I'm gonna have to give that a 7.
Ah yes, Mr. the Hedgehog. I don't think we could really judge him because he's not wearing any clothes except for his shoes. His shoes are nice, even though we're still thinking about the fact that he's naked. I'll have to give his practicality a 10 because he's wearing shoes, nothing else. Style, well, I don't know what to say. He's wearing nothing. 3. And power, he's just a hedgehog. You could easily hit him with a car for all we know. So I'll probably have to give that one probably a 1.
Practicality, he can go to the bathroom anytime he wants. That's pretty much what I'm going off of when it comes to practicality. So I give practicality a 10 out of 10. Style, it's a little outdated. It's not that powerful just based on looks. Like, he's got to go fast, but like, can't really see that from there. So I'd give power like a 2.
He's flexible to do whatever he wants. Like, he can use the bathroom wherever he wants. He can take a bath wherever he wants. So I'm gonna have to give that a 10. For style, yeah, it's basic, but that's what makes him great. Like, his style, I think it's perfect, so I'm also gonna have to give it a 10. Now for power, that's gonna be a different story because, yeah, without any clothing on top, unless if you look at his shoes and you think, oh yes, he has power in those shoes, you just don't see it in him really, so I'm gonna have to give that a 4.
So this has been our Met Gala. I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope you realize that we're all the most fashionable the way we are.
See you next year.
Hi everybody, I'm Jen. I'm here with Justin and Carson, and today we are going to talk about Minecraft, the history, and why it was so popular, died out, and then got so popular again. So first I want to start off with, what are your guys' first experience with Minecraft?
So my first real experience with Minecraft was actually just sort of learning about it through friends. I wasn't really aware of it until like middle school. People started making references to it. I was like, what is this thing? I looked it up. I was like, wow, that's really cool. I didn't actually get the game myself until like the Redstone update, which I think was like 1.5. But since then, basically for the rest of middle and high school, I would play it all the time. It was, you know, it's just such a cool game, you know?
All right, my experience. Well, I started from the beginning, man. Kids started talking about it like right away. So I was like, Mom, I got an iPad. It's only $6. Please pay me the money. I don't have any friends. So I bought Minecraft and I played it a lot during vacation times. And I generally enjoyed it quite a bit for the time. Of course, when I played with my friends, they would destroy my stuff and I would cry because I'm like that. You know, pretty fun game. I was always kind of forced to play it a little as with friends when I got like older in high school, but I still play it, and it's the friends that make it exciting and fun.
All right, good answer. Well, not answer, it's your experience. I pretty much started the same way, heard it through friends. I remember playing it on Xbox. I don't know if I played it originally through Xbox or Pocket Edition, but I remember telling my parents, hey, can I please get Minecraft? Because I think at some point it was like $15-20 back in the day on like the Google Play Store or the App Store. And then from there, my love for the game just kept growing and growing. So I want to ask you guys, how would you simply define Minecraft?
You try to build whatever you want, whatever the game gives you. That's what I would probably say. It's a sandbox, which allows you to essentially build stuff. It's essentially a glorified architect simulator. That's probably how I would put it. You just build stuff.
I'd say that it's probably some of the, you know, sort of the idea of a sandbox game, but like distilled to like sort of its
Yeah. Let's talk about how Minecraft sort of blew up. I would say Minecraft blew up from the idea of YouTube being around and all these YouTubers growing up. Did you guys grow up watching any Minecraft YouTubers?
I did not, but we cannot deny that's why it became so popular.
Yeah, exactly.
I think most of my interest in Minecraft actually did come from watching YouTube content. You know, my friends referenced it and everything else, you know, they would make the jokes, but like, I think I really actually started getting invested in actually wanting to get the game from YouTubers, you know, people like Sky Does Minecraft. I don't want to name any of the others because, oh my gosh, so many of them
are not good.
Went to the dark side, you could say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like it got so popular was just because of all these YouTubers and all these kids wanting to be like them. You know, eventually there was a whole convention based around it, which who would have thought, Minecon. It was very interesting, but then after those YouTubers sort of got older and we started getting older, you know, the series, it started dying down. And it's not that Minecraft wasn't the issue, it's just more that, you know, we were just no longer kids. Minecraft was still constantly updating and changing in many ways. So if you guys had a falling out with Minecraft, could you explain why, or do you really know why?
I think I have. I think it's a couple reasons. First off, Microsoft bought it up. I think that kind of screwed it over a little because they didn't do almost anything with it. Like nothing. Microsoft buying Minecraft, big mistake. Another problem is there's no sequels. You know, the updates aren't too interesting in my opinion.
See, in my opinion, there should never be a sequel. I feel like these updates are as perfect and as good as they should be. And I also feel like that's why the game kept growing and getting bigger. Now, there was that downfall, you know, but then it started picking back up again, and I'm not gonna lie, it was interesting. It's mainly because of these new YouTubers rising again, and the younger generations are enjoying them. But you know, we had this huge blast off of Minecraft lovers, and then it declined. It's big again now. Do you think it's going to keep declining and get bigger, or do you think the game's eventually going to die out? I mean, the game's already how many years old? I know they're having a big update coming soon. They already did half of an update. Do you think there's going to be anything else added that will make it more interesting, or?
I think Minecraft is going to be like one game, but it's going to be like Call of Duty or Battlefield. You know, it's just going to be with us forever. I don't think we're losing it anytime soon.
Mm-hmm.
I think Minecraft is in an interesting place in gaming history. I feel like we're reaching a point with video games that we haven't really had before, where games can, you know, video gaming itself is a very young industry compared to other art forms and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And like, movies will continue existing as long as we have the film reels or whatever. Video games, if they stop getting support, they can die. I think Minecraft's in a unique place because it's such a compelling single-player experience as well, so all you need is just the base files to play the game.
Yep.
But I think, you know, we're sort of, it's sort of in a space where, like, I don't know if it will last forever. I don't think it will die, but I don't think it's really going to, like, grow again and have another resurgence like it did recently for a very long time.
I think,
you know?
This might not be the right term, but I think it's being a little bit replaced because one of Minecraft's biggest legacies is that it really blew up the indie game industry. It really did, because after that we got stuff like FNAF and Celeste and Hollow Knight. And one of the biggest rivals of Minecraft that I think is starting to pop up now is Among Us. I think if indie games become bigger and bigger and more popular on the internet amongst YouTubers, I think Minecraft's popularity will be stolen by something else. Or
see, See, I think Minecraft, the popularity was stolen a little bit, like with Among Us and everything, but you still have these big YouTubers such as Dream, Tommy Innit. They're like the Sky Does Minecrafts and everything else that, you know, for us.
Yeah, but like, I think, let's compare this to Among Us. Among Us blew up like kind of right away, you know?
Yeah, but it died.
killed its own competition, Fall Guys, in like a month.
It did do that. As much as Among Us is sus, I would confirm that it is dead. I would confirm that it is dead now.
I feel like, you know, the games you guys are describing, you know, they're indie games, but I don't think they're really competing for the same space as Minecraft.
No, yeah, Minecraft
I feel like
completely different.
Minecraft has carved out its own space in video gaming and sort of its own space in the general culture of games that it isn't, I don't feel like it's going to be really truly replaced by something anytime soon. You know, like I feel like Minecraft, it's not as much in like the conversations that we have all the time now, but I feel like it's always going to be sort of like a background thing, you know, like it's a game that's going to be referenced for years to come. It's a game that's going to be, you know, it's going to be in the lists of classics, and then, you know, I have a feeling it's going to be in the top 10 best-selling games of all time.
Yeah,
probably longer than we're going to be alive. It's such a timeless model, and it appeals to so many people. But I feel like just sort of like saying that, you know, just because we aren't talking about it now means that it's dead. I feel like I don't know if that's quite the right angle to look at it from.
I think what I really meant was, I think new indie games, you know, like Among Us and stuff like that, are gonna, I'm gonna say like kind of water down its legacy or water down its, you know, it getting noticed. You know, you see this kind of with other games too.
Yeah.
You know, no one really talks about the original Mario anymore. You know, everyone still remembers it.
I feel that just Minecraft, it's so unique in its own way. There's so many options you can do, you know, you have your single player mode, you have your hardcore world, and it's just a massive MMO that everyone can enjoy and have fun on. And I think based on our discussion, we can say, you know, it might have its downfall again, it'll have its rise, or, you know, maybe it'll just slowly decline, but I think overall Minecraft is a game that's going to continue to be around for younger generations.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Gaming Tourist. For the last few episodes, I have discussed a collection of locations many are acquainted with, like Tokyo, Raccoon City, or Bowser's Kingdom. So I decided to discuss a place that many might not be so familiar with. One that many humans and bird folk alike can live in harmony. This is Little Dove Hachiman City. To shorten the title, I'll just call it Little Dove City, okay? With that in mind, let's explore Little Dove City. Little Dove City is a very peaceful place. While many believe it might be a dangerous place because of it's mostly inhabited by pigeons, but that is a lie. There is Torimi Cafe. This is a small, lovely cafe where you can relax and talk to patrons like Rabu, who is suggested to be there for almost 200 visits. You can work here, but it only needs one employee, so hurry while you can. There is also an arcade in case you're in the mood for some gaming. If you need some prayers, there is the Shinto shrine on the outskirts of the area. Here you can pray for good fortune and buy charms. If you want to work there, they are hiring maidens. Then there is the legendary St. Pigeonations Institute. Here is the most advanced education you could get in all of Little Dove City. Once you finish all the excitement from your trip, you can relax at the city park. Once here, you can experience the many events they assemble. With all the locations, they also have their own special days you can enjoy. There is Tanabata, where people put wishes on bamboo in their city park. Then there is the Summer Festival. Here you can enjoy a range of food and games as you explore the event. Then it ends with an amazing fireworks display. While in the area, you can also enjoy the beautiful Christmas display shown as well. As you can see, this city is such a nice place to explore. I can't say why others wouldn't enjoy. Hello? What is it? I guess I'll leave this here. I'll see you all on the next episode of the Gaming Tours.